I was using the weed whacker. I sat down, I was so out of breath. I thought I was gonna throw up. I didn't have any water. I remember I sat there, my dad didn't have anything to drink. He's like, I'm sorry, maybe oh yeah. But I've been there for his near-death experiences too, and I helped him go to the hospital. But anyways, I have a lot of things that I need to say, and I can't always get it in the perfect order because certain things. So I'll try to get all the main points in, even though it might be really poor organization on your video documentary there. Well, that's life. But it also shows you the truth of my life. That I can't really plan out anything or do anything. Especially like when it comes to leaving the house ever. Or hanging out with friends. And it's not the pity like, oh, I just want to feel bad for me. Well, you know what pity is? When someone wants that, they need attention and friends. So I don't think pity should be a bad thing. It's when someone feels they've been mistreated and they need attention and love, there's nothing bad with that, and you should send them love. Even if they've done evil things, because the only way, as I've sung in one of my songs, the way to heal hate is with love. You send love to those you love and help heal with love as best you can. Sometimes that love is avoiding and walking away from the situation. So, yeah. I'm just trying to get some exercise. Only half an hour in. I ate a lot of ice cream last night because I was stressed out. And I'm trying to be on a diet, eat healthy. I don't have my food stamps till the 3rd. That's okay, though. I'll work toward it. At least I'm getting cardio exercise. Really enjoying my newfound freedom out here. Because I feel with my phone a little more safe. And I had this sign from a movie I watched. I have those videos there for my safety. It was some Uber driver. There's like 6 of them. Like, that's weird. Why would it be for his safety? Well, if someone tries to do something to you, imagine all those things with Craigslist, Craigslist murders, and people blame Uber drivers as being the culprits. I immediately know, because we live in the United States of America, every DoorDash food delivery company, they are victims. And sometimes leading in death, or in one case in Oregon, they put a bomb around a pizza delivery guy's throat and told him to go into a bank and rob it, or it'd blow up. Unfortunately, it wasn't a fake bomb. And he didn't kill anyone, and I don't know if it was covered up. I think they might have saved him, but it looked like he died. And if this is the reality, we have the power to put things back together. But there are evil people out there like that. This is our plan. We'll get this guy. They're making minimum wage and risking their life. People in Ubers, people go in there, they could rob them. They could tell them, oh, go down this one street. Oh, now we're going to do this, that, and hold them ransom. There's nothing you could do about it, but give us everything. Go to your house. We got a gun on. What are they going to do? And I know you've probably seen all those movies that say, don't even contact the cops. Well, it's always good to contact cops. Whether, not by 911, but by actual contact. Like my probation officer. I know his phone number. And I can get to them. And you can't really time travel exactly, but it gets it out there in the universe that you're in trouble and they don't ever have to really find out, because over time, situation can get fixed. They use that fear tactic. Like, oh no, they'll get shot. Well, let God deal with it, okay? Gotta have a little faith. Or actually call the FBI first. That's what I do. I did that about 4 or 5 times in the past 2 years, because I know that there was somewhere in Oregon that was corrupt, and I think it's more corrupt than I wish was true. And I know that sounds like an overplayed cliche. Like, that's only in the movies. Well, what I experienced the past 10 days, what I saw, unless it was a complete made-up Hollywood mock-up just to freak me out, of people suffering, someone dying because of neglect, not getting their medication, someone suicidal that didn't have a towel, that had no food, that didn't have anyone to talk to, no medical, throw them in a room like solitary confinement. If someone is so depressed they're suicidal, you do not punish them, right? They put them in there because they want them. I'm not even going to tell you my IQ, because every kind of test we get put through would be, it's rigged, as Trump would say, which is true. Because your mind also works in another dimension, kind of, you get all the five senses. But the sixth sense is not necessarily anywhere on your body. There are other kind of senses, like electromagnetic, when you get the hairs on the back of your neck. That's not the sixth sense. That's other crazy senses that not quite what I'm talking about, but where reality is kind of malleable, right? It can change. We make sense of it, but there can be things done that look like nothing to the regular observer in this reality, when really you might be picking up, some kind of artifact that is very valuable, that will actually be the key to finishing something that's needed with all these molecules. Now, yeah, that'd be a great book. Well, no. The thing about the universe is the complexity and a very wide range of possibilities and interactions that most humans, not just white humans, but don't really see as much. Christianity does not see what other religions see. What I'm talking about is Native Americans. They respected spirits, the burial grounds. The Hindi believed in these monsters, and when proven in fact existed, other people would deny and try to cover it up. I'm not talking about Sasquatch or anything. May I be talking about like dinosaurs, like T-Rex? Well, if you don't know dinosaurs are real, they were real. Can be again. Because we can grow animals from their DNA in an incubating tube and kind of play with, the birth of organisms without actual consensual fortification, which is the way it's supposed to be done for a reason. Because it ties us together in a quantum area together. That's what joins people. It's not just the kisses, well, although that's part of it. Being around each other and wanting to do things for each other that get them protected in a bubble with their family. So, I think this too, right there. You ever wonder why the sun is actually named Sol, S-O-L? There's something also sounds like soul. It's called S-O-U-L. Everyone has a soul. It's important. Hell, that's a star, okay? Imagine that's me right now. I'm not going to claim it because no one will believe me. It's been burning and stuck there that shouldn't have to be there, but is interacting in a way to have light shine to function for certain people's benefit before God was done finishing the area for us. Like, okay, let me build a healthy area. I'm not going to control everything you do, but make it safe so people don't make dumb, jerk mistakes that hurt people really bad. And I really want this revelation to come soon, to have people realize it's not just people getting killed or, abused sexually. I mean, that can be stressful, but when you realize the worst things there are and why things happen, the mental torture that people go through, and when they're restricted from doing things, and for 20 hours a day people tease them in a room like, oh, it's dinner time. Nope, you're not getting dinner. Lunch, lights out. And they scream and bang, and they can't get out. That is hell. There are people in hell in the United States of America. And I feel like I'm the only one who is speaking out about it. Now, I really hope right now, in this moment, that there is nobody else that feels that way in the United States of America, because if it has to come to it, God will intervene in a way that might cause damage. Now, I'm not talking nuclear, but the rest of the countries around the world, NATO, you got India, China, Saudi Arabia. They're more ancient than you think, all right? They're princes and elders. They actually know the ways of these magical forces. You know, the pyramid that my dad went into, the forbidden room, I'm not even making this up. Ask him. He will actually tell you the truth. But he doesn't know how big of a deal it is. You don't go into a forbidden room and a 6,000-year-old Egyptian pyramid. Now, it's going to be kind of surreal, kind of freaky to think about this, but if you ever watched the movie The Fifth Element, there's these things and powers within them, more than just built rocks. They were there for a reason. Okay? And when they're messed with, it screws a lot of things up. And someone named Mr. Beast, not me, went to these Mexican ruins. This is a little bit of recent history, current events-ish. And Mexico wanted to sue him and the native Mexicans because it was a sacred site, and he went in without permission, filming this ancient temple that no one was supposed to be allowed in. And he shared it to the world, and they're like, this is not about the money. You just committed a crime against God. Okay? Please believe that there are sacred areas on earth that are not meant to be infected by people. They're supposed to be remained there safe as a fail-safe. Now, you don't have to believe me, but keep your mind open. What if? All right? Because those things are there, right? What I know is that the area that I've grown up in, they do not have the right answers. At least with religion. They might have good answers if they search within their hearts in the moment, not led by doctrine. If they just, well, okay, I'm observing this, I'm taking it as it goes. In my opinion, I think that it might be that. Keep an open mind. Okay, well, what do? You're doing what's called a science experiment, laboratory time. Well, how about we test it out? See what happens. See what happens then. Do it without me. Do it with your friend. Tell your friend to try it. Does that happen? And scientific method proves, if a thing proves consistent over time, in different places, all over the world or galaxy, that there's a scientific connection and a power within it. But we don't understand it, right? I'm not talking about, oh, the moon landing was fake. No, that happened. Yeah, sure. Thanks for desecrating the Mother of Earth's grave and ashes. The moon is actually metaphorical ashes of the mother that gave birth to God. And you'll understand it. I know this is not like the total, hopefully this is not the first time that you hear this, but because I am directly linked being that sun above us, and only being able to wiggle a few minutes this way or that within the present moment, to change my future, I'm restricted. But that's what all the other countries are working on. And I have not been told, I've been kept out of the loop whether a lot of Americans know, how many Americans know. Is it just the rich people? Is it just certain sects, certain cities that know what's going on? But I know when I read about what happened when this guy pulled over on I-5 maybe a couple months ago and brought his gun up at someone on the freeway. He's like, that guy's from out of, they're not supposed to be here. They're trying to keep people out of this area. Now, how could that happen? People can come freely here. Well, if you ever see drones and drone strikes, get a text message on your phone. Hey, We have one of these drones that could take out your vehicle if you cross this line. And then you see them, and I've spotted them on video. They look like big helicopters. I'm not even making that up. Now, it might have been